Hey, it's Tim, Pickup Truck Plus SUV Talk, joined by the 5'1" of the world, Jill Ciminillo, on the live stream. And yes, Jill, I hit the button.
Okay, I was like, did you hit the button? I don't know. Did you hit the button? I was like, come on, let's go. It's showtime. It's go time.
It is showtime. It's been one of those days. So, let's see. We talked twice today.
I know. You got a double dose of me today because, spoiler alert, Tim was on the podcast with me that we had to pre-record for next week that I do with Tom Appel, so the Car Stuff podcast. So be sure to catch that next week, Monday. So yeah, we at the end of this will have talked for more than 2 hours.
Okay, that's all. Good night, guys.
Come on. Who doesn't want to talk to me for 2 hours?
Where's your sense of adventure? I know. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. What are we talking about tonight? So Jill actually set the live stream. I was kind of busy.
I was busy. Like I literally just got home from the suburbs. So.
Oh, the suburbs.
We're rallying.
We're doing it for you here, folks. All right.
But we're talking Silverado mods, which by the way, we've already done that today. And then Toyota Stout.
Let's do it again. All right. So I've been asked a lot. So let me slow down for a second. So as you know, if you watch the channel, I have a 2023 Chevy Silverado 1500 Duramax Diesel High Country, and I have started doing some modifications to it. And I've been asked several times about different questions about it, like why even do the mods, right? I mean, that's a common question. And then what mods do you choose? How do you choose them? And then installation, all that kind of stuff. So actually came up in the podcast that Jill and I did today as well. So if you follow the channel, I bought a 2021 Ford F-150 Power Boost because my tax accountant was like, look here, pal, either you buy that or you pay a lot of taxes. And I was like, all right, cool, you got me. So bought a truck. That was a lifesaver. I didn't do any mods to that truck. No, I didn't do a single mod to that truck. And that was fine because we had still a lot to talk about with that truck. Good videos and that deal. Then I bought the 2022 Toyota Tundra, and I stopped by Rough Country. We did a leveling kit and step-in bars. So not much there. And then I got the 2023 Silverado, and Diesel World came after me. Diesel Aftermarket World was like, hey, what's going on here? You need these parts. And initially, I have said no to this stuff because I'm like, why even do it if it's a truck I'm going to sell anyways? And then it occurred to me that if I do all of the stock testing, why not do more? Get all the stock stuff done, then do more stuff beyond that. So I said yes. And so that's caused me lots of grease on my hands. And I truly understand now why people don't like the GM wax frames. Because I swear, if you come within a millimeter of it, it like attaches to your skin. Like it's, I know, it's crazy. And so
what I would like to say to that is there are gloves that you can buy to protect your hands. And they're really this crazy thing. They're disposable. You can throw them away. Every time, you put some on, you can throw them away. And they're not really expensive.
Yeah, so I wore gloves at times. But still, arms.
At times.
The elbows. Well, there's times where it's like, when you're wrenching on stuff, you can't quite grab the grasp of the nut or the bolt in that case. And so let me show you today. So today I took some pictures before I left. So we got this done today. This is a 12,000 pound Warren winch that we installed.
Oh, and your grill's back on.
Yeah, the grill's back on. The bumper, there's a lower bumper, and so that is missing. And so the challenge here, if you look at the picture left of the Warren winch along that bracket, there's some gold nuts and bolts there. Those are almost impossible to get to with gloves on. You need every little fine detail.
Not work gloves.
I'm just saying those are really tough to get to those spots. So
latex gloves, they are as big as your hand.
I know, I've worn latex gloves, and so I didn't have any with that today. But I'm telling you that stuff's hard to get to. So we did that, and then let me show you this. Where's the browser? Oh, so we did that. Then we did. So this is a Fab Fours Matrix bumper, and this a powder coat that we had gotten, and he did the powder coating on this, and this powder coat is the same color as the truck. It's actually powder coated to match. and it's got the same kind of sheen to it, the same kind of metal flakes and that kind of stuff. And hopefully they'll be installed tomorrow. We had to, oh my goodness, we had to cut the, what am I did? I don't know what I did there. We had to,
screen within a screen within a screen. That was like a little bit trippy.
We had to cut the parking sensor spots, and then we had to cut the spot for the diesel engine plug for the wintertime. And then you had to cut those spots. You had to put in some slots for these little holders to go in. Then you had to go on the backside. The metal is so thick it wouldn't actually fit the holder. I had to grind those down. And so, yeah, it's been a heck of a work. And then I found out today that Fab Fours bumper is not recommended for trucks with a diesel engine. And so I had to email Fab Fours, and I was like, what are you guys doing? What the hell? And they were like, I didn't say that to him, but I was like, you guys sent this to me, and now it doesn't fit my truck. Like, but it actually does fit. So I may have changed that. I may have the first diesel-powered 1500 Silverado with that bumper in it when they told you they wouldn't work. So, yeah. And the answer I got back from them was that they had not tested it with that. So
like,
I don't know. So
something you hadn't tested.
Yeah. So it's interesting. The modifications are fun because it's stuff like again, I've done all the towing tests. I've done the stock 100-mile drive. I've done the stock coming home drive. I've done stock thoughts. And so now to modify it, and I told Jill on the podcast this morning or this afternoon, whatever time it was, it's so much fun because now I can actually. I took the grill off, right? And the cool part of taking the grill off was I actually could hold the grill in my hands and say, this is the grill. And behind the grill is the active grill shutters, open and close, or louvers. I could grab one of those, actually go, this is what it feels like, right? So a lot of times when you're reviewing stock vehicles, you can write the press release up and you say, okay, it's got active grill shutters, but you don't always know what that means until you actually grab hold of it and go, this is what it actually means. And so it's fun to be able to do that and have understanding of that. And so as a journalist, I'm always looking to learn more. And during this process, I have learned a lot more, a lot more. And so, I don't know. I just think it's fun. I'm having a good time with it. And yeah, I'm going to sell it when I'm done. I'm actually going to sell the truck and probably the end this month, probably when I come back from Michigan, I'm going to go ahead and sell it. And so, yeah, it's a fun adventure. I have more mods going on. Oh, Justin Kelly's here. Powder coat looks good. Definitely the way to go for that longevity. Yeah. They had a weird powder coat on it. It was just didn't match anything at all. And so my friend Corey Wheelman, I'm going to put his link to his YouTube channel here in the comments, but he did a little work on it, and him and I have been working our butts off getting that done. He's doing all the work, most of the work. I'm helping best I can.
Okay. So I am not a wrencher. What in the heck is a powder coat?
So powder coating is a type of paint in a way, right? And so if you look at that bumper, it's got a paint covering to it. What we do with powder coat is you have a positive and a ground. And so you actually electrify the bumper. And when you spray it, it absorbs into the metal. It's just like we saw at Bilstein when they did those the red shock covers. They put it on the thing. Well, they electrified that spindle we saw. And then when they shoot the paint on it, the paint sucks into the metal. So like, say the paint's positive, and I think the paint was positive, and you make the metal negative.
Okay.
And so it's like the magnetic thing where it just it just sucks onto the paint, sucks on it. So he could walk around, sucks on the paint. The paint sucks on. He actually walked around with a little spray gun, and he painted around the bumper, and the bumper, like the paint, just kind of sucked into the bumper.
So what's the point of it? Just so that it lasts longer, or? It
lasts longer. It's cleaner. You don't have a lot of overspray. So typically when you paint something like that, you'd have to put a bunch of plastic covering around and cover it up so it doesn't overspray. It sucks it. What's nice about powder coating is it sucks into all of the crevices.
Okay.
So if you imagine like spray painting that and trying to get that spray paint all in the crevices to protect it from like rust or whatever, this powder coat sucks into that. And so it's electrical charge. Yeah. So you basically charge the paint and sucks into it. It's how they paint. They paint planes that way. The Boeing paint is plain that way too. That's how you can get those nice crisp lines and that kind of stuff, so they can not have overspray. And it's a nice process. So it also dries faster. So he has this booth that heats it up to 400 degrees. And so you have this big tray that you basically powder coat it. You put it in there for 10 minutes at 400 degrees when it heats up all the way, and then you pull it out and it bakes that paint right onto that bumper. So that bumper should be hard to nick. It should be hard to cut the paint. Rust should not get in there. I mean, it's not going to have any problems. And so, and plus it looks a lot better too. It's a lot cleaner, and you don't, like I said, much overspray. And so that's nice to see, and it looks amazing, and I can't wait to get it on the truck tomorrow and get it lit up. And so we think we got all the attachment points right. We're gonna put the parking sensors in. Everything should work right, and so it'll be. I'm hoping that gets installed quickly, which I've learned there's nothing quick. Like the oil pan was an 8-hour job, and that thing was crazy getting oil pan on there. And the transmission fluid cooler, which I haven't talked to people about very much, but this is I'm thinking about this today, driving back and forth from a shop. This is what I love about learning this stuff. So the transmission cooler, there's a stock transmission cooler on this truck. What this does is it takes the transmission fluid from transmission, goes up to the cooler in front of the radiator, cools the fluid, and sends it back to the transmission. So that way, if you're towing and you're heating up the components like the engine or the transmission, it'll run that transmission fluid up into the transmission cooler. The wind hits it, cools it down, goes back to transmission. So you're basically exchanging. It's like a heat exchanger. You're taking the heat out of the transmission and cooling it on the radiator and sending it back. Okay. So it's about, let's just call it something. It's like, wow, hold on a minute. Big Truck, Big RV, our friend JD gave us $20. What's up with that? Holy cow. All right. Let me finish my thing here for a minute, but I do not get pizza with anchovies. That's the last question. I put the PPE transmission cooler on there, right? Bigger. And so my transmission temperature dropped from 210 to like 190. Same thing, Demon Works. He's got a channel on YouTube. He's got the same engine. When I put the transmission fluid valve in, it now is like 140. So it's even cooler and cooler. So it's even better on this truck for towing, which I can't wait to talk to engineers and say, hey, why didn't you do this beforehand? Why didn't you just do this stock from factory? Because you want cooler, is more efficient, and things last longer if the parts aren't heated up. So it seems to make sense. So JD actually, I
feel like he asked so many questions. I need to be like,
right?
Like putting my hands over the top of it and like doing it. Sorry.
Yeah. No, JD bought his is a GMC Sierra 1500, same Duramax diesel we have, and I've been following his videos as well. So what do you think of the seats? I think the seats in the higher trim levels are the more comfortable seats you find in Chevrolet vehicles. I do not think they are the best things since sliced bread. They are better than the LT or I don't know, GMC's SLT. But yeah, they're still not great. I was actually talking to Rough Country about this, and I said, why don't you guys develop like some sort of seat pad mod or something? And they're like, what are you talking about? I'm like, Chevrolet seats are terrible. And they're like, oh, really?
Have you never sat in General Motors?
Yeah. I know. I'm mystified because Jill and I talked to a person who was the engineer for seats, and she was aghast that we thought the seats were terrible. And we're just like, does your butt have no feeling? Like, what's going on? Over the hood visibility. So like as you're driving, I don't know. I'm used to full size trucks.
I'm going to say no.
I don't have a problem with it. I'm sure Jill's got a different perspective.
I mean, it's the best truck for overhead visibility. For me is the Ford F-150. I have to say. Yeah,
I mean, I don't think it's, again, the greatest thing ever, but I don't have a problem with it. It doesn't really bother me. Do your rear leaf springs make any noise at slow speeds? I don't believe so. I have to think about it a little bit. I mean, look, I'm usually like jamming out the music, so I don't hear a whole lot. I don't think they do. I don't know that one. That's a good question. You know what, JD, I did put my Rode mic, or I did put my GoPro with my media kit in the back with the speaker or the microphone to be able to tell. But I don't care about that. Do you care about the lack of 12-volt outlets? No, it hasn't been a problem for me. I don't have any problem with 12-volt outlets. The one I don't care about is I have a lack of my wireless charger, which I have. As Jill knows,
speaking of modifications,
I have a modification, which is coming. This is from, guess what? You guys are doing this 404parts.com, which has just literally put their logo over everything. I have the wireless charger mod in here, which is going to be fascinating to put this in. It's like the size of a hard drive. You remember if you ever computer stuff like a hard drive, and so it's interesting. I don't know. I'm excited to put this on because I'm road tripping in Michigan, and I want the wireless charger. That's one thing I really have a bitch about wireless charger, and I do miss adaptive cruise control on the road trips. That's about it. But I don't. Yeah, the 12-volt outlets doesn't really bother me. We use the one in the bed for our bougie. I think that's what they say it. It's a portable. It's a portable refrigerator. And so when we went camping and on my road trip when I go to Michigan, I'm going to put that in. But that one's got different adapters. I can run 12 volts. I can run 9 volts. All different things going on. Yeah, it doesn't really impact me, but I don't know. Interesting. And I do not get my pizza with anchovies. So thank you for that.
What do you put on your pizza?
What do I want to put on my pizza when I get today's? I love Supreme pizzas with the vegetables and the meats and stuff, but these days I end up getting chicken and spinach.
Chicken should never go on pizza.
Chicken and spinach is like the only thing I can get from Domino's but I have to have spinach because it's the freaking inflammation in the pizza crust. And yes, I've tried cauliflower pizza and it tastes like
so
poop.
Not that this is any healthier at all, but in Chicago, I believe it's Lou Malnati's Pizza. They make a sausage crust. It's literally a pizza crust made out of sausage.
Yeah, but
they build the pizza inside that.
That's interesting. I'm not doing processed meats. I'm trying to avoid processed meats.
I mean, I get it, but processed meats versus gluten, for me, gluten is worse.
That's kind of my thing. So like once a week, I just that's my bad meal. So he installed rubber shims on his rear leaf springs. Gosh, I don't know. So I'm going to write that down, JD. So rear leaf spring noise. Is it so, JD? Is it when you're towing? I know you do a lot of towing. Is it towing-ish? Is it unladen or laden?
J Ray says he said it was mainly a Colorado issue. I don't know.
He lost respect. I don't know. So I will tell you this. I worked at Pizza Hut.
I don't understand the pizza answer.
Because of the anchovies. I worked at Pizza Hut in my 20s. And every once in a great while, somebody would order a pizza with anchovies.
That would be my dad, by the way.
And I got to tell you, we would be in the back as cooks, and we would all we'd do rock paper scissors. It was a nasty thing we had pulled out. They came in little cans, had to peel them. We're all put their noses away from the can and putting them on the pizza. Yes. All right. So that's what I got. So yeah, I don't know the rear leaf spring noise. That's interesting. I don't know that. I mean, I generally don't drive around my windows down that often, and I don't. I have music on, and so I don't really hear those sounds. A lot of times, if I'm driving around for something, I will have the music off, doors and windows up. But I don't know. Interesting thing. All right. So he says, put a mic back there. Drive slow and turn around 2 to 3 miles per hour. 3 miles per hour unloaded. Okay. All right, I will do it, and we'll see what happens. I'm going to put an asterisk and star and number 1 next to it, and all that kind of stuff. So I will take a look at that. All right. So what do we got?
Lots of anchovy talk at the moment.
Oh, he hates anchovies. So they're all clear. We don't like anchovies. Yeah, anchovies are. Yeah. So the other thing that Jill mentioned, and what have I done to the truck? So this is interesting. So the worn winch you saw the pictures of. That'll be done hopefully tomorrow. We have the bumper going on. That'll be done tomorrow, hopefully. I have I forgot to tell you this. I have the bug guard from WeatherTech on there. I have the stubby antenna, which I'm sad to report fell off.
What?
Yeah.
How did that happen?
I don't know. It was loose the other day, and I was telling myself I need to pull over and tighten it down. And then I kind of forgot. And so I looked at the truck today, and I was like, oh, whoops, that thing's gone. My bad. So that's not mod, I think. And then I did the floor mats from the common ground floor mats for whatever the ground it was, floor mats. And then I did the decked cargo glide in the back. and we have fuel wheels and Firestone tires all the way around. Level that we did the align those tires too. And then if I get it done, I have air suspension coming from Firestone as well. Firestone actually builds an air suspension system, which I didn't know they did. So I have that coming as well. And the wireless mod from 404 Parts. And then everything underneath. The oil pan that holds 2 more quarts of oil, the transmission fluid valve, and the rear differential cover. So those are all the mods I've done on the truck. And I tell you what, every time I do another mod on that truck, I keep saying mod. That's the kids' terms these days, mod, right? My son's always like, I'm doing a Minecraft mod. I'm like, okay, great, whatever. I like it more and more.
Like the truck more?
I like
with
truck
modifications.
I like truck more. Yeah. It's an add-on airbag system, JD. And I did not know that Firestone made one. I was reaching out to Airlift. Airlift wasn't emailing us back. And so then somebody on the channel said, hey, why don't you get a whole Firestone? They gave you the tires. And I was like, do what? They have one? Mm-hmm. And yeah. Mm-hmm. And so I I emailed them and they said, yeah. So hopefully I'll be here. I leave in T-minus 8 or 9 days, whatever the 16th. 16th. So I have got to get the mods done before I leave. That's the deal. And I will be doing the my 62 was supposed to be done today, but he's not done today, which is kind of irritating me. So will he be done? So yeah. Oh, so JD says, oh yeah, it's a good system. Okay, interesting. Yeah. So that's all the mods. And what I said why I told you why I did it, why I'm doing them. And the other thing too is like it's from a YouTube standpoint. A journalist standpoint, it's additional new content, right? So we have new videos going out. We have new things going out all the time about these different things. And I think it's kind of, I don't know, but Jill, I think it's kind of expanding the channel. I think people are watching for different reasons now. I mean, they're watching the same way, but now we're doing even more stuff, right?
Yeah. I think diversification is always a good idea. And, you know, I mean, people may not 100% watch everything, but I think that the more you can put out there for more people, the more opportunity you have to bring people in.
Yeah, I think so too. So I've been having a lot of fun with it, and there are some future conversations behind the scenes about doing more mods, and it just depends. So it's business, right? So I'm going to sell a truck at the end of this month, and what am I going to get out of it? Am I going to lose my butt? Am I going to get some money back from all the time and effort and money I've spent on putting the mods on? I mean, it's like it's not free to do this stuff. Like it's a full day of work doing these different stuff. So will I get that back? Will it be a good business plan? Yeah. So G wants to know, do the mods pay for themselves video coverage? I think I'm getting closer to breaking even on the oil pan install. But yeah, I don't know but that's just the labor. That's not, I was there for 9 or 10 hours and I drove 2 hours back and forth. There was 4 hours of driving. So I don't know.
We should also be clear. You're not actually paying for the parts, right?
I'm not paying for the parts, but I'll give you the deal. So the part was $300, but labor was $860. And I drove 4 hours back and forth. It took me an entire Saturday. So, you know, I don't know. Yeah. So yeah, JD says always a big gamble on what pays off with YouTube. I agree. I don't know. I think I found the oil pan video very interesting to do. I found it very interesting to put together, but do I make money on it? I don't know. I just don't know. That's the biggest thing. So I'd like to do more of this stuff, but I have to, you know, balance the budget too. I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. So, all right. I think that's it. What I have. I do. Yeah. Toyota Stout, Jill. So I have not done a video on this, by the way. She was accusing me of doing all the thing on YouTube.
Well, yeah, you usually are very YouTube forward, YouTube first, and then you're like, oh yeah, right. Maybe I should put that on the website. Or no, more likely, I'm like, hey, dude, I saw this video. What the hell? That would be the more likely conversation. So we've heard rumors that Toyota, so Automotive News posted a story last week saying, like, and it was literally 2 sentences in this long story about, upcoming product cycle for Toyota vehicles. And there was like Toyota Corolla Cross pickup kind of like with a little question mark. And, 2 sentences saying, they've talked about this. If they do it, it will be built at the same plant as the Corolla, but it'll be based on the Corolla Cross. And that was like literally all it said. And then we're like, wouldn't that make sense if they did that? And then like, as we're talking more, they're like, well, the first Toyota pickup truck in the United States was the Stout. Like, wouldn't that be interesting if they called it the Stout? So I don't know.
Yeah, no, I'm
going to point this out. So I'm drinking water.
Dave and Ken wants to know if Jill's drinking wine. Is she getting tipsy? I ran out of whiskey, and I'm going to run after this live stream and get some more because I screwed it up. But I wanted to drink tonight for sure. Let's see. Yeah, so I saw the Toyota Stout in a museum in South Dakota several years ago, and it literally is a small little compact truck. And guess what's popular again? Small little compact trucks like the Maverick and like the Hyundai Santa Cruz. And it seems like it's a slam dunk deal for Toyota, right? So the Corolla Cross, slap a bet on that, and you're done. Like the engineering can't be that hard on it. And so, I think that it's going to be a situation where I think it's going to come out. We've seen the Ford Maverick get a bunch of good sales. We've seen the Hyundai Santa Cruz get a bunch of good sales, and the market's there. JD's on fire tonight. By the way, Jill walks way too fast at events. It's like an F450 trying to keep up with the Z06. Yeah, so it's a couple years ago in Chicago, she literally ran circles around me. Like literally ran circles around me. If they make a power what part? Like I like to see the RAV4 Prime in that. A hybrid.
No, I mean, what would you like to see, and what are they going to do? Or two different things. I mean, what I think that they will do is use the Corolla or Corolla Cross powertrains. So they have a straight gas engine, and then they have a hybrid powertrain. Is it a 2.0 liter 4-cylinder engine? I forget. Okay. I wrote the story. I've already thought about 20 other things since then, 130 other things since then. So I don't remember the powertrain, but I would guess they would use the same powertrains as the Corolla and Corolla Cross.
Yeah. Frank Keel wants to know, what truck would I buy again? I buy the Silverado. The Silverado powertrain is great. The truck's been great, but I would love to have the Ford seats in it. I'd love to have the Ram seats in it, or actually the Nissan Titan seats.
We'd love to have any other seats other than what are actually there in it.
If I could have that truck, and I was thinking about that, like the mod I would do. Ford pizza choice. All right, thanks, JD. Have a good night, buddy.
Pepperoni and jalapenos. That's what I will leave you with. Ooh. Bye, JD.
Yeah. So I would love I was thinking about doing that mod. Like how can I take these seats out and put better seats in? That'd be the only thing I'd do differently in a truck because I'm gonna road trip in that truck, and it's not comfortable when you get after a long day. And you get out and it's like, where's the hot tub? And I just don't know why. My brother had a 2020 Silverado like LT he drove out, like a work truck, and he got here after 18 hours of drive, and he was like, man, he goes, I can't ride in that truck tomorrow. I can't do it. I'm too sore. And then he had a Jeep Grand Cherokee drove out the year after that. And he's like, oh, let's go drive this vehicle all day. And yeah, I don't understand why that's such an issue with Chevrolet. I just don't get it. Yeah, that's what
GM in general, because like Cadillac seats are horrible. GMC seats not great. Like I don't know what it is, but they like, I feel like they put like starch or cardboard in their seats, and you're just like, what the hell?
Yeah, I saw again. I was watching Demon Works has a Silverado like I have, and he did a wrap-up video today. I was watching that one, and he even pointed out, he goes, these seats are still tough. The leather is still tough to sit in. And he's been a Chevrolet guy for a couple of years, and he's been works at a dealership as a mechanic. And he goes, yeah, I think like in 2007 something changed with Chevrolet seats. Like 2007, something in GM changed, and the seats just went completely downhill. I don't know who got hired.
That person who did the seats started with GM.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know what happened, but man, something totally happened back then, and it is like it's just ridiculous. I don't know, and people in the comments have been kind of back and forth on it. Occasionally, I'll see somebody who defends the GM seats, But more often than not, I see people just attacking the GM seats. Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. Daniel wants to know: do you think the super high prices of full size trucks are why small trucks are making a comeback, or are people just preferring them more? I think it's Jill's. So as we talked about in her podcast earlier, was Ford found out with the Maverick, it was women buying that truck. There was a lot of women who bought that smaller truck because their needs are to still have utility, but they don't want to they don't want to drive a big truck. They don't want to have the big size. They just want to be able to, haul potting soil or a bike, or take your running shoes and toss them in the back of the truck and not have them stink up the cab. They want to have just a little bit more utility than a sedan or a SUV would have, and not worry about getting it dirty. And they found that that's why some of the marketing campaigns for Maverick have been kind of lady focused.
Well, there's like a lot of clever storage spaces in both the Maverick and the Santa Cruz, like with the underseat storage, and like the Santa Cruz has in bed storage. The kind of in floor storage you can lift up. Like, I would never just throw my running shoes in the truck bed, by the way, because like they could fall out, they could get dirty, they could somebody could take them. But however, in the Santa Cruz with the under bed storage there, I would put them. There's a lot of storage solutions, plus when I was driving the Maverick, I had the Maverick Tremor back in January. And somebody pulled, like in my neighborhood in Chicago, dude pulled up next to me and he's like, "What is that?" And I was like, "Oh, it's the Maverick." And he was like, "This is the perfect size truck, for what I need." So I don't think it's just girls. I think it's also, people who live in cities or urban situations, who need a truck, but need it to not. I had, if you want to see something funny, it's coming soon. I had the GMC Sierra Denali Ultimate 2500 last week, and trying to haul that thing around in the city, like that took skill. I'm going to say that took skill. And I have a video of, how it fit into city spaces, and, from parallel parking it to trying to fit it into my garage, which, by the way, new garage. So don't automatically assume it doesn't fit. But it was a challenge. And then you get something like the Maverick and you're just like, it was super easy. Whip it around, and fuel economy is pretty good, but you still have the open bed for dirty, messy things, not my running shoes. And, it does. In some cases, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I think it's size. I think people are driven to the Ford Maverick and Hyundai Santa Cruz for size is a huge thing. For price to some degree, right? So they're shopping for a Corolla Cross, for example. Why not buy the Ford Maverick? Fuel economy is 40 miles per gallon, front wheel drive, bed too. I mean, it just makes a lot more sense for a lot of people's life. I still think that the truck is the best utility vehicle out there for anything you want to do with it. If you never want to haul, great. If you never want to tow, great. But to have the capability to actually do it whenever you want to, that's fine too. I mean, I think people buy for that because we always buy for more than our needs. I just think it's that. The super high price of full-size trucks, I think that gets overblown, and I've seen other outlets cover this and they make a big deal about it. But when you go and, for example, if you go and stop looking at the high country, stop looking at the Denali Ultimates, you see those things on YouTube a lot because that's what the automakers are giving us, but it doesn't mean that's what you have to go buy. I still routinely spend in the $60,000 range for a full-size truck, and I've seen some less than that. Some of the base level full-size trucks in the high 50s. Well, I'm sorry. That's not. It's not 1970. A full-size truck is not $6,000, right? I mean, things have changed, and so they have a lot more technology in them, a lot more features in them. If you're just expecting something to say, "Hey, this is just a truck. This is what I gotta have," they still make fleet trucks. They still make tradesmen. They still make F50 XLs that come in the 45 to 50,000 range. The problem I see is that people watch the video and they go, "Oh, I want all that stuff," and then they go, "Oh, it's too much money. Damn, full-size truck's too expensive." Well,
wants versus needs.
Yeah, stop wanting this stuff.
If you want the stuff, it's going to cost money.
You don't need Super Cruise. You don't need it. But people are like, "Oh, I want it." I have a friend in town. He's like, I'm going to buy a new Denali Ultimate because I want Super Cruise. I'm like, okay. You know,
by the way, the Denali Ultimate that I had did not have Super Cruise.
Was it part shortages or I don't know? Yeah. So it's like that's why I tell people you don't have to spend the money on the luxury trucks. Yes, it's what you see. Yes, it's what you want. I get that, but shop around, shop used, shop whatever. You will find some bargains out there. I want to speak to Dave in Canada real fast because he says he's talking about Chrysler a little bit, what brands be around, and this comment here: Ram and Jeep don't seem to be selling, and I'm confused by that because I've done the sales reports and Ram and Jeep are just fine. Even with their older truck, they're still selling. So I don't know. I have a problem these days with the YouTube channels out there. They're like, the end is near. The dealer screwed up. Ford CEO says that they're going to be out of business in 2 years. And it's like, gosh, like, why watch that stuff? Like, that, just stop. Like, just stop watching those other YouTube channels with that stuff. I get so frustrated because you look at their views, and their views are millions of views, but their subscriber count's like not even growing because people click on, they're like, oh, this guy's just talking garbage. Yeah.
Clickbait.
Yep, that's what it is. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like there's more options in the full size use market than there are that people just need to take a closer look at. And I've said for a long time that I still think that Silverado High Country with a diesel is the best value in the marketplace because $67,000 is now $69,000 used or new. Like, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I will. I'm gonna highlight one here without saying the guy's name, but yeah, he's been that Mr. I highlighted has been pissing me off lately. I about emailed him today and said just knock it off.
I don't know who that is, by the way.
Oh yeah, I'm just so frustrated by Thanks, Dave. Dave's going to watch this from now on. I just get so frustrated when I get online and I see these clickbait YouTube videos about like dealerships made all these mistakes.
Well, to be fair, a lot of YouTube is clickbaity, and it's like, you're forced into buying EVs, and gas trucks are going to be gone in 2 years, and it's just like people are trying to get you to click, and it works because you're sucked into the headline or title. And I mean, we all do it. But I think that hopefully when we do it, we try to at least deliver on what we're promising.
Right. I try to make it a question or something to kind of get you guys. If you look at our thumbnails, it's all like questions or comments or things to get you to think about it. I'm going back to a few earlier comments. Nabil wants to know, when is the Silverado and Sierra redesign? Auto News has it pegged at like a 2026, I think it is. I think that's what their future product pipeline said.
Yeah, because 2019 was the last redesign.
And 2023 was refresh.
Yeah, and so they usually are in a 6 or 7 year cycle.
Right.
So that would make sense.
I think it's right in that realm. Greetings. Is that a golf course in the picture? Oh, it's a golf course. Banji wants to know. Will you be getting the Nissan Titan this last model year? Greetings to all. I will not be buying the Nissan Titan last model year. Here's the thing. I don't want to buy a vehicle that you can't actually go buy that for a future couple more years. I want to buy something that's new, that's available, that will be around for a couple of years, that you guys can shop on the video, so you can watch videos later. That's what I want. That's what kind of my goal when I buy this stuff. Jill question.
Yes. The next Rebel Rally, I guess I could go like that, is it's October 12th through the 21st.
Okay.
Siri is talking to me. Sorry. Whenever I go like this and say something, my watch is like, "What? Can I help you? I didn't get that." I'm like, "No, I'm not talking to you." Sorry.
What do you think of the Colorado Trail Boss so far? So, Jill, I don't know if you've been following the news on this as close as I have, because my brother bought a GMC Canyon, and his has been in the shop now for about 3 weeks. So GM did an over-the-air update on the Colorado and the Canyon, and the update didn't finish, and the batteries started dying because the truck would not turn itself off without the update being installed.
So it's kind of like when your phone tries to do an upgrade and then just restarts when something gets interrupted in the middle.
Right. So I reached out to GMC to ask them what's going on, and they said, well, what's your brother's truck? And they followed what that kind of deal is. And they said, as of Thursday, my brother's truck would be finished and it's fine. Because what happened was he left a concert and he had the truck in the parking garage, and he valeted it. It was a big concert trying to get in and out, and the valet couldn't get the truck started. So he spent like an hour and a half getting the truck started. Finally got it started, didn't want to turn it off, gets on the freeway, it goes in limp mode, and right when he's getting limp mode, a gravel truck pulls in front of him and throws gravel and smacks the windshield and chips the windshield. And so now he's doing 45 and a 75. He can't do anything about it. He's got to drive like an hour home with this vehicle this way. He gets home, takes the dealer. Dealer doesn't know what to do with it. Dealer can't fix it. And so dealer's like, they're lost, right? And so they're calling GM. They're back and forth this deal. And so they supposedly fixed it on Thursday. They did the update or whatever. They finished stuff. And then I talked to him yesterday, and he says, yeah, apparently it got fixed, but they also had to order a brand new radio. The whole infotainment system's got to be replaced.
Why?
Because the update fried things, apparently somehow in electronics. So, Bob Green, to answer your question, I think about Trail Boss so far. I like it. I like the engine. I like the transmission. I like everything about it. I just would wait, and I would get on the Facebook groups for. Since you asked on Facebook, there are some Chevy Colorado and GMC Canyon Facebook groups. I would hang out there for a while and just kind of bide my time, because I hear somebody gets it fixed and somebody else does, then a new problem pops up with that software issue. And I'm hearing a few people are getting their full radios replaced. And I don't know if it's radios and dashes or what, but full replaced. And you saw Andre at TFL actually lost his infotainment system. He lost a dash on his Colorado Trail Boss. Yeah, he went out to get in it, turned on, and the dash went blank. And they blew, I don't know, it was a fuse or software thing, whatever. They had to update that. So I thought they were great at the media launch. I thought it was great going on, but it's not been a good launch for the Colorado. Yeah, so 2024 Colorado. Yeah, so yeah. Sorry, I took the comment down. So 2024 Colorado, yes. I usually don't have a problem with buying the first generation of a truck because whatever I do it. But in this case, I might not buy the first model years right away. I may just wait a little bit just to see what happens, because that's been a really annoying problem. And the thing is that's frustrating with it is it's not an engine issue. It's not a transmission issue. It's a software issue of all things, like a freaking software issue. And my bitch of it is the same bitch I have with the 450 Power Boost, and the same bitch I have with my Silverado is that you don't know. It's not like your phone. You don't know when the over-the-air update's coming, and you can't. You can't
say no.
You can't say no. Yeah, you can't say, oh, I'm going on a road trip and I don't want this update to install right away. I want to wait till I get back from a road trip. I'll be home for a week, whatever. You can't do that. And that's my bitch about these new vehicles, is that they need to have an option on there to not automatically update. And that way you could say, hey, I'm not going to update this. I'm going to wait 2-3 weeks, wait a month, whatever. And that's fine. And so I think that was my big issue with that truck, with what they're doing. And it's not them. Ford's doing the same problem. Ram's doing the same problem. Toyota did the same problem. The Toyota Tundra I had would update, and I have to go on the screen and try to figure out what they updated. And I'm like, why don't you? And they were like coy about it. Like, what'd you update? And like, well, we're not telling you. I'm like, you update it. Just tell me what you updated.
I mean, they inserted spyware into your truck, so they don't want to tell you about it.
Yeah, they know when I'm picking my nose when I'm driving or something. I'm like, come on, man.
You're gonna post pictures of you on the internet.
Right. I'm like, why is over the updates is a fine idea. It's a fine idea, but we need to get it to the point where you can say yes or no.
You know what? I think actually, and I think this is in his shirt is short. I think this would actually be a really good story and a good video to talk about, like why maybe it's an opinion piece. I don't know. Why can't we make this stuff like whether or not you not automatic update? I think that's a really good story idea, Gene. Thank you.
All right, there you go.
I'm putting that on your plate, Tim.
I'm writing it down. Why do
I see that? Thank you.
Why do I leave live streams with more notes than you do and things to do? I got to do my real string thing.
You need to earn your keep.
We were arguing today about who's the boss. We're not really sure who it was. Yeah, I don't know. I'm very frustrated. It's very frustrating when technology is great when it works. When it doesn't, it is just awful, absolutely awful. So that's my frustration there. So maybe I'll get fired up tonight later on, drink a little whiskey and fire up that story.
Wait,
Jill loves it when I 2 weeks up and I have a 2,000 word story for her.
Yeah, no, that I'm gonna have to cut in half. No 2,000 words.
Yeah. Yes. Mark says he's got a 22 Tundra. It's only had 2 updates. Last one was in April. Could use more to fix a few issues. The thing that came up in the 2022 Tundra forum that I follow on Facebook, people are still talking about the fact that you have to pay money to use the navigation system. So I think we discussed this, and you're well aware of this, is that if the screen pops up and you click the button to go navigation, you have to pay money to use the system after the trial is over.
Yep.
And we're just like, why not just save the maps that are there? Why do I have to pay for it? Right? So like, I'm sorry, but in my area, things haven't changed at all, right? Even the street across the street here still says new road. Every press vehicle says new road. It's been that way for 8 years now. It said new road. So I don't need navigation to update. I don't need to update the map stuff. Things don't change that fast. And I don't go that many places. And when I do, I have my phone. I just use my maps or whatever. So my point is just leave it alone. And if I want to subscribe to have an updated map, fine.
Well, and the thing is like, yeah, people like and this gets me hacked off in a completely different tangential way. Like I always connect my phone to Apple CarPlay. I always use either, and like with a lot of vehicles now, if you use Apple Maps, it will actually show the navigation in the behind the screen gauges. Like they talk to each other. Right. So you don't need like the navigation, like to use the native navigation to get the directionals in your behind the wheel gauges or in your head up display. Like if you use Apple Maps. So I've started using Apple Maps actually a lot more because of the way that they talk to the car. And so what really is going to hack me off is when I get that Chevy Blazer EV and there's no Apple CarPlay in there because, General Motors doesn't want to play nice with people and what they would like to use in their vehicles. And I think that is really going to end up costing General Motors sales in the long run.
I didn't understand that.
Siri.
Exactly. Nobody understands
technology. I think that's going to end up costing General Motors sales. I think, and I could be wrong about this, but I think eventually they'll go back to offering Apple CarPlay.
Yeah, I mean it's or there'll be an aftermarket solution. There'll be something out there that make it work. But the other, speaking of, I don't know why we're talking about Chevrolet so much tonight or Jam, whatever. But did you see the Chevy Blazer EV is shipping to dealerships right now? And whoopsie, they killed the entry level Blazer EV. They will not have a $30,000 EV. They just start shipping them, and they're like, hey, it's actually $60,000. It's actually $70,000. Yeah, they just.
Well, no. Are they? Is the base model coming? They're just shipping the higher price versions first.
No, it was on.
That's usually what they do.
I pulled up Auto News Silverado, or no, not Silverado. What do we call it? Blazer EV. They quietly killed it was the story. Chevy, yes. So I will pull this up, and I will do this with that. 2 seconds. 2 seconds. Add to stream. Oh, I don't know why that.
Picture in a picture in a picture.
I know.
It's like looking in a mirror in a beauty shop. Picture, mirror in a mirror in a mirror in a mirror, and it's like, yeah. Let's try this again. Okay.
Chevy cancels entry-level version of Blazer EV as deliveries begin. The launching this month will have an all-wheel drive RS trim priced at $60,215, including shipping. And I think when I scrolled down the story, they literally said it's dead. So, yeah, has decided not to build the entry-level 1LT trim on 2024 Blazer. Instead, it's going to be above $45,000 mark. It was originally targeting. The two-wheel drive 2LT is scheduled to arrive next year. Will be the base model instead, Chevy said. So the front-wheel drive Blazer 2LT will be the base model. The 1LT is dead. And they did not say the starting price for that nameplate. But yeah, it's now instead of was it 45,000, it's now 60,000.
Well, no. So the 2LT, as you go into the next paragraph, says it's about $48,000.
Yeah, it could be. I'm not sure. It was expected to start at 47.5.
Siri just really doesn't understand anything this evening. Sorry.
A 2LT with all-wheel drive going production this fall at a price of $56,715. The planned 1LT was supposed to be $44,995. Chevy spokesman told Element News the brand envisions higher trim levels on the upcoming Equinox EV will meet the needs of potential Blazer EV 1LT buyers and gives us room to position the market and market the vehicles without overlap.
Boo. Well, you know what? I bet this might have something to do with the fact that they killed off the Bolt and now they're bringing the Bolt back. And so the Bolt will be the one that slots in around $30,000.
I think it's due to the fact that the lithium pricing is still going back and forth. It's not settling down. Lithium pricing was up, then went way down when China stopped doing subsidies EVs. Now it's kind of back a little bit like this and going up and down. It's like, I don't know. It's kind of crazy. Gerald wants to know anything different on all in the 2024 Tundra? No, there'll be nothing new there.
I mean, do we know? Have they released the 2024 changes?
I feel like I did a story on it. I feel like I wrote a story on it, but I don't.
You did. I totally didn't read it.
What kind of editor are you?
Apparently a really bad one, or one who travels a lot. Could be that.
I think I wrote it up. I don't believe that it has anything. They already announced 2024 Tacoma Purity Pro gets new color. That's that new
solar something or no?
Whatever. I don't believe there's anything new. I maybe have spoken out of tongue, but or out of whatever. I'll check the press room real fast.
Out of turn.
Whiskey is calling my name.
Clearly.
Yeah, no, they only have 2023 on there. I mean, Toyota is the most conservative company in the world, and if they do anything, it'll be a new color. I mean, people are so let down by the 2022 Tundra. They want all these big changes happening. People that don't like it. There's a lot of people that love it. I mean, I won't argue with that at all, but a lot of people still love the Tundra. But I don't know. I'm not seeing anything different. Maybe tow hooks. Tow hooks. Yeah. What's crazy? You did a Land Cruiser, and Land Cruiser had tow hooks, right? And the Tacoma's got tow hooks.
Yep.
But the LX, was it the LX 570 did not have tow hooks. So, no, 600. LX 600 is a new one. LX 600 did not have tow hooks. So they went through this. I think Toyota went through this phase of safety, all the safety, and then they figured out all the consumer pushback, and the safety team was like, "Okay, fine, we surrender on this." And now we have vehicles coming out with tow hooks. I can tell you, and from an engineering standpoint, they want tow hooks. Engineers want tow hook completely.
And so do consumers, especially if they think maybe once in the 20 years that they own the vehicle, they're going to take it off road and they might need to be recovered. They want tow hooks.
Yeah. No, so I mean, it's something that I believe that engineers really wanted, and they couldn't beat the safety team. The Toyota's safety and legal team is staunch, and they kill a lot of good ideas. So I think that's what the issue is. And, I've talked to people about that, and it's just engineers they're not happy with that. Even people inside Toyota are not happy with the fact of tow hooks and things like that. Okay. Wow. I thought we were going to do like 20 minutes tonight. It's 53 minutes.
Well, it's been a couple weeks, and apparently we had a lot to say. I was trying to think if we had anything else we needed to say.
4 hours of conversation with you.
I feel like that Blazer EV is also a story. I can put that on my plate, but we definitely need to get that up on the website because that's shocking.
Yeah, I think I saw it, and you've been busy, and I've been slammed. That's the one thing I would tell you that I don't love about the aftermarket parts I'm putting on. It's very distracting. Like, I'm very much out of my office a lot more than I want to be, and I'm very much doing this other thing. So I'm not been happy about not helping more on the website and not doing live streams and stuff like that, because it's just it's fun to do, but it's very distracting from the other business. So I'm not sure how that's going to turn out. But yeah, that's it. All right, whiskey run's coming up in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I think so. Yeah, fantastic. What else? That's it. Yeah. So we'll see you guys maybe next week, Monday. Maybe.
I'm in town next week, so we can do it. It would be a you problem if we aren't doing it.
I'm hoping I'm loaded up. I have the truck on a trailer. I'm winching it down. I'm hoping I'm ready to go. I don't know. We'll see if I get that far. Maybe a Tuesday thing. At this point, running on fumes. Yeah, that's about it. So make sure you find us on the website at pickuptrucktalk.com. Also, social media is all the same. Pickuptrucktalk.com. I am like Jill. I think we're still going to call it Twitter. X sounds pornographic, like you said.
I know. We were talking about the podcast today. I was like, you can't call it the new name because it sounds pornographic. I refuse.
Yeah, I think whatever Elon's doing over there is just crazy. I don't understand it, but he's made his billions. He knows more than I do. I'm not sure, but I don't know. So find us on Twitter. On Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, all kind of stuff. We're on there as well.
Threads. We're also on Threads now.
Oh yes, we're on Threads. I have to post over there. I haven't posted in a week or so, I think. I don't know. All right. As always, thanks for watching. We will see you down the road.